My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is June 14th, 2024. It is 3:14 a.m. This is video number 2. Technically, what I'm about to record now should be video number 1, but I just did the recording for the security aspect, which I was supposed to do yesterday, but I didn't have time. Okay, so this is the back end of this video, of this channel, I should say. 4,292 subscribers, new subscribers welcome, estimate revenue $156.31, analytics 2,069 views in the last 48 hours. Okay, so let's go on Twitter, and don't forget, if you want to support my channel, there's PayPal, Cash App, and my shop. You guys could go there and check out things that you might like. Okay, and I still need to get the puzzles, Zazzle things a little bit more organized. I need to put more stuff in. I haven't had time to put more things on Zazzle puzzles, so you guys might be interested in. Okay, so that was one of the tweets that I just did on the last video. So this is the first tweet for this video. I don't know how many tweets that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What happened now? Let me. Okay, so I cannot find the first tweet, so I guess the person removed it. So let's go to the next one. I don't want to waste time on that. Next tweet. So there's this here. It's your weekly carnival of so-called expert with, was it Cheapsake Jenny Bond and Matt the Menace. Okay, Matt the Menace. Quote, I would love to see Kitty and the kids on the balcony. There's a laugh here. Quote, I wish Harry all the best. I pray that he's happy with his life. He was the most popular royal. And no, I don't see him or Meghan on the balcony again. Okay, I think that was a thread. Okay, so it's a couple of them. Oh, is that... Okay, so that's the same person. I thought that was the vein. So let's listen. We're going to go over all of them. I had it for a while. Since why do I feel like it was more than a day? Because I saw it for a while, but I didn't listen to it yet. But let's continue. 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
That this is the future of the monarchy. Of course, then we had Harry there. Now they are further reduced with Harry not being there. We assume that the Princess of Wales, Catherine, will not be there, though that has not been ruled out specifically by the palace. Could be an opportunity for her to step forward for 5 minutes, but I am divided about that because it would seem to me to overshadow the day which is the King's Day. So would she want to do that? I don't know. But I'm sure, well, obviously we'll see William there, presumably the children, and the small number of royals who are now our working royals.
Oh my God.
It's all about working royals. It's not.
That's kind of sad. The kids working already. But that's their problem.
Showing off the royals are actually... serving duty and actually properly working. But you mentioned there that Prince Harry won't be on the balcony. We don't expect him to be on the balcony.
Harry should not even be part of this discussion. He's out. He's doing his own thing. Let's continue.
You've seen him on the balcony before. It's such an important family lineup. All the pictures, everybody's happy, they're smiling, their faces up, watching the fly past. Did you in any way miss Harry being on the balcony, or do you think that one day we could see him return with Meghan on the balcony?
I can't see Harry returning to that, really, no. And yes, I do miss him. I mean, Harry was the most popular royal, wasn't he, a few years ago.
Well, that's not what YouGov said, even though we know YouGov is lying. But anyway.
And having watched him grow up and known him just a little bit, you know, he was a wonderful little boy and a charming, jovial adolescent. At least that's what we saw. And he was brilliant for the royal family. He did bring a natural, common touch, a relatability that would have been a great asset had he stayed. But as far as Harry's concerned, though, I mean,
What do you mean, had he stayed? People keep on forgetting this part. It's the royal family who kicked Harry out. Had he stayed, Harry wanted to stay, but they kicked him out. Oh, my Lord.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there?
Without question.
Yeah.
I'm sad that what's happened has happened, but I know and I'm comfortable knowing that we did everything that we could to make it work, and we did everything on the exit process the way that it should have been
with
done.
as much respect.
With as much
and,
respect.
Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
I hope, and I don't pray, but if I did pray, I would pray that he has a happy life now and all that he wanted, the freedom he craved, and he did crave that freedom. The wife he loves, the children he adores, the family life and that model of domestic bliss that he didn't have in his own adolescence.
That I agree.
I wish him all the best.
100%. Another royal who was popular at one.
Okay, so it continues. Let's pause. He had to ask if Diana would have approved of Harry leaving and Meghan. She said what she should have, yes, because you're not gonna put your words in a dead woman's mouth. Okay, 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Diana a little bit more from those times. How do you think she might feel about Prince Harry's situation? You know, completely out of the family, married, taken his family across to the United States. Do you think she would have supported him? Do you think she would have liked Meghan? What do you think? How do you think she would have reacted if she was still alive now?
I think she would have supported his decision because, let's face it, she was on the brink of possibly going to America, certainly forging her own life outside the royal family. So I think she would have supported him, and I think she would have liked Meghan, a woman who has her own strong views, an independent woman. And I think whilst supporting Harry and Meghan, I think she would have knocked their heads together, William and Harry, and said, "Come on, boys, enough of this. You know, you promised me you're going to be best mates forever." And I think we wouldn't be in the pickle we are right now.
Yeah, because she couldn't pick a favourite, could she? She won't be able to.
Well, the problem is William. I think right now, William has a 5-year-old brain acting in on a world stage where adults should be in. William should not be in the position that he is in right now because he doesn't understand the stupidity that he is being displayed. These are childish things that who give a F about who's on your side, who's this. You're gonna be freaking king. But he's worrying about small little things. Oh my Lord. But anyway.
Pick sides.
You don't pick favourites of your kids, do you?
Exactly.
No. But I think she would have been the bridge between them, which would have made things would never get to this impassable place where we are now.
How do you think things have changed then dramatically since?
Okay, so let's continue. Okay, LOL. Apparently, reporting on royal news now is harder. Okay, this thing is moving. I don't want YouTube to do anything. Okay, LOL. Apparently, reporting on royal news now is harder because we have social media. You can't lie anymore. But we're here with a newspaper posting stuff. We heard from a source, but anyone can post and get a lot of likes. There's a laugh here. 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
Now.
How do you think things have changed then dramatically since reporting on the Diana era, which was a front page of every newspaper, the bulletins you were doing on the BBC, every couple of nights there were huge stories. How do you think that?
I'm looking at the image. Look at the little girl touching Princess Diana's flower. Look at this right there, and she allows it. I mean, that's a kid. Yeah, Princess Diana had a very connection with people. So let's continue. I move it back slightly while I was looking at the image.
You were doing on the BBC, you know, every couple of nights. There were huge stories. How do you think that maybe the royal family kind of handle their private lives, or handle their PR, or their talk about Charles wanting to make sure that he got, you know, to change his kind of profile? How do you think that the royals changed since then?
Well, you must give me your opinion as well, actually, whether you think they have or not. I think that probably they have learnt the lessons from Diana's death that the Queen, the late Queen, promised would be.
Nah, these people haven't learned a damn thing because they're repeating the same thing. The William is repeating even worse. So what's happening with Charles and Camilla, okay, they shift the spotlight to William, who's displaying stupidity that Charles did back then. Meanwhile, Charles and Camilla are enjoying their reign right now. That's what is happening here, because what people should have been talking right now while Charles is king is how what's that side piece next to him, okay, how she did Diana wrong when Charles was married to Princess Diana. But you're not talking about this right now. Instead, you're hearing the nonsense. Where is Kate and the nonsense, and Harry just ignored them. All right, so that's that. Let's continue.
Learned from her life and her death. I think they are more relatable, more approachable, and perhaps the PR at the palace is a little more savvy than it was. It could be just, you know, it was like getting blood out of a stone sometimes. All very charming and correct, but did they tell you anything? Usually not. You know, I'm literally saying, I am walking into the studio now. I am on air. The 6 o'clock news is about to start. Give me something. Shall I say it? Shan't I say it? And
welcome to my world, Jenny. Welcome to my world.
What's it like now?
Up
Tell me.
Try to find. No, it is quite tricky, but I think that for us now, the royal family.
You know what? The truth will set you guys free. Okay, you don't have to try so hard. You see the thing, you report the truth. That's it. And then that family haven't learned a damn thing because they're repeating almost the same thing in the same manner, same blueprint. They haven't learned a damn thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
You're incredibly popular. I think the death of Queen Elizabeth II obviously created, you know, such worldwide news. There's just a vast amount of interest, but there are only a small amount of people that actually have the information or have the knowledge, and it's about having to, you know, being able to trust the people that are providing you that information, because we don't want to be wrong. We don't want to be making.
But you guys, this is what you guys do, making stuff up. You guys are making stuff up. And you're talking about during the Queen death. What were you guys talking about? Did you talk about her legacy? No. You people like the UK, I don't know if him personally, but the UK was focusing on Harry and Meghan, bashing Meghan. So you guys, oh my God. I have some videos back on PYTE. You guys could go and check what was happening during that time.
Stuff up.
Exactly. Our job is getting the facts accurately out as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And it's social media. I mean, anyone can now go on and post something that they've heard, or they say that, you know, a friend of a friend of a friend has said this, and it gets like hundreds of thousands of hits. And you're
well, that's you people. This is your blueprint. This is what some of you be saying. Sources this, sources that. I'm reading every freaking day. I have a video on this channel. You guys are putting BS after BS. Kate this, Kate that. You saw, what was it? One of the comments I responded on my last video about Meghan is putting things out. And I'm like, how did you get? Because sometimes I have to stop and respond to these people because they're putting stupid things out. But it's you people who keep on writing those fancy imaginary stuff. Let me move it back. I talk too much.
Yeah. And it's social media. I mean, anyone can now go on and post something that they've heard, or they say that, you know, a friend of a friend of a friend has said this, and it gets like hundreds of thousands of hits, and you're sitting there with a newspaper in front of you that you are trying to write for, based, you know, putting that together based on what you can prove or what a proper source has actually told you. So it's probably very identical.
Oh, please.
Well, I think so.
He's talking as if he's innocent. No, you guys are the one who's stirring that same nonsense. The things that he's talking about, these are the things. Isn't the Sun Harry's suing too? These are the newspapers Harry's not dealing with because of this type of things that he's talking about.
Look, first off, I've said this before and I'll say it again.
misinformation is a global humanitarian crisis. As you quite rightly pointed out, I felt it personally over the years, and I'm now watching it happen globally, affecting everyone, not just America, literally everyone around the world. And I guess the scariest part about it is you don't need to be online to be affected by this. But I think Renee mentioned this as well. It's important to recognize that this problem, it did not originate on social media, and you do not need to be online to be affected, as I said. I learned from a very early age that the incentives of publishing are not necessarily aligned with the incentives of truth.
Unfortunately, every single story was complete lies, which is rarely, well, which it always is, basically, which is a shame. But
you ever wanted to do a column in the newspaper, but
I'd love to do a column in the newspaper, article, right, this is what happened last night. No, this is what happened.
Last time that it was too risky for you to go back as a soldier.
More the fact that I think the media had said that they would never keep their mouths shut if I went and did the same job, so I'd have to do something different if I wanted to go, yes.
But
I had a chat to them. I didn't send a letter of congratulations like most of the papers. How any of the papers think that they know the relationship between myself and my sister-in-law is quite remarkable, but they're wrong as always.
And that mistrust of the press, I mean, how far back does that go? Is that something that's to the...
I think it's fairly obvious how far back it goes to when I was very small.
I learned from a very early age that the incentives of publishing are not necessarily aligned with the incentives of truth. My experience, I guess, has been more pre-social media around the UK press, who sadly conflate profit with purpose and news with entertainment.
I don't want the press to be in the last chance saloon at all. I want to see newspapers thrive. This is my industry, and I think it's in all our interests that we have a thrive. And we got the most wonderful newspapers in the world in this country. You read the newspapers in the States or in France, they're very dull. They're not entertaining at all. I think that we can have both a serious and an entertaining press. And that's what I want to see survive. I don't want to see Prince Harry destroy the industry I love.
My experience, I guess, has been more pre-social media around the UK press, who sadly conflate profit with purpose and news with entertainment. And they don't report the news, they create it. And they've successfully turned fact-based news into opinion-based gossip with devastating consequences for the country. So I know the story all too well. I lost my mother to this self-manufactured rabidness, and obviously I'm determined not to lose the mother to my children to the same thing. And when I said in the mental health series many months ago that they won't stop until she's dead, that was I guess more of a warning, not a challenge.
Social media has made the whole thing much more difficult and much more dangerous, and social media is, after all,
Nah, social media is keeping you guys accountable. This is why you guys cannot go with your narrative. Because once you put your nonsense out, people check you on it. Fact check you on it. Alright, well, look at that. Jenny, this thing keeps on moving. Well, look at that. Jenny Bond 1 apparently follows people who she agrees with. I bet she's following a lot of Meghan haters and accounts who spread nonsense about Diana and Doria's grandchildren. Okay, 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
You can prove, or what a proper source has actually told you. So it's probably very identical to...
Well, I think social media has made the whole thing much more difficult and much more dangerous, and social media is, after all, so much an echo chamber, isn't it, of your own views, because you follow people and people follow you because you agree with it, and so that gives it all these spurious leads, a veracity which they do not deserve. And frankly, I think it's evil, and the abuse that I'm sure you get and I get if I talk about Meghan or Catherine from either side. I mean, it's...
Well, if it's the truth, you have nothing to worry about. But when you're making up stuff, well, I don't follow them for me to even check them or anything, because these people, they don't tell the truth. There's no reason for me to even follow them. There's nothing I could learn from them but BS, so I don't even bother following them. But it's that type of blueprint. It's you people in the UK who created it.
And racism as such, as a philosophy, kicked in was as a direct reaction to the abolitionist movement. The abolitionist movement driven by some of the leading intellectuals of the day, as well as driven by hundreds of thousands of ordinary people in this kingdom who signed petitions after petitions and presented them to the House of Lords. When the abolition movement really kicked in from the 1780s onwards, the planters had to respond. And so this is where you get the most virulent imagery about brutal, pagan, bestial.
But the media is a powerful force.
Black people in the literature and in the imagery.
Cartoons portraying black people as licentious and depraved began to circulate. The anti-abolitionist Edward Long wrote,
"The lower-class women in England are remarkably fond of the blacks. In the course of a few generations more, the English blood will become so contaminated with this mixture as even to reach the middle and then the higher orders of the people. This is a venomous and dangerous ulcer that threatens to disperse its malignancy far and wide until every family catches infection from it."
And then now you're complaining about it? I don't know if it's her specifically because I don't follow her. Let's see. Someone just tagged her somewhere here. Never mind. But let's finish this into her BS.
It's just a torrent of abuse. And I mean, we can handle it. We're professionals, but
professional
I
liars.
hope, I hope very much that Catherine doesn't read what is online, which is probably made aware of it.
The Prince and Princess of Wales are aware of what's been written about.
But like I said, some of the things the scribe talk about is that the royal family, when they post something, a picture about Meghan or Harry or something, the negativity under the comment, they leave them. When the negativity is toward the royal family, they shut the comment down. So these are the people who's manufacturing their own nonsense. They're talking as if they're innocent. They are the cause of the problem.
There was a lot of abuse. There was a lot of criticism, rightly so, of journalists and photographers after the death of Princess Diana. That was a period where it was very difficult to work in the media, I assume.
Yes, it was. Yes, I remember being on air at Kensington Palace shortly after Diana's death, and I mentioned the name Camilla for some reason during the 1 o'clock news live, and I was shouted down by the crowds.
Well, the minions, her minions, because she got this under control. God has her too.
Was a different way entirely. I mean, I have come to believe, and I do social media, but I've come to believe that the human race is really very unpleasant indeed, and very vindictive and unkind.
Well, you people are the one who's stirring it. Okay, look at Harry's looking for security, but instead you deny him, not her particularly, the UK deny him the security, and then at the same time, the UK is stirring the pot for people to go after him. So you guys are playing double sword. Again, not her in particular, but the UK. You see what's going on in the UK. Go on my last video about Harry's security, the Fauvage guys who got security and stuff like that, but they deny Harry. Okay? So something like that. And you have Clarkson writing that nonsense and people calling foul. I don't know. Did they ever punish him or something? I don't know what they say about him.
And it doesn't take a lot to try to be kind. I know that's not what we're meant to be doing as journalists, but it doesn't hurt to try to be pleasant about people when you can.
To be fair.
Yes.
That's what we always try
fair
to
is
be.
A better
Well,
word.
that's what Meghan and Harry were asking, just to be fair, but instead you go out of your way to write nonsense.
Mm-hmm. That's sort of the flawed argument and its operating mechanism that they're confusing people to think. I think life is about being able to share our stories and share parts of our lives that you're comfortable with. There's no one who's on Instagram or social media that would say, because I shared this one picture, that entitles you to have my entire camera roll. Go ahead, look through it. No one would want that. So it's about boundaries and it's about respect. They've created a false narrative. I've never talked about privacy. Mm-hmm. I think that's just a basic understanding.
On this particular case, the legal case was so clear-cut. That was almost the final straw after this long pattern of disturbing behaviour by the tabloids.
Yeah, what evidence is there that the press had a sort of an agenda against the Duchess of Sussex, that there was a personal animosity towards her, which fed a lot of this coverage?
I don't know if there's evidence of any personal agendas or animosity. I think there is a huge amount of content published about Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They are good business. It's something crazy like 15,000 mentions of them online every day. So they are, the whole royal family, and particularly Duke and Duchess of Sussex, a really big business for the tabloids. And then we all know about negativity bias and how bad news, negative headlines tend to do better online, which is a really sort of unattractive part of the algorithms that are used. So I think all of that feeds into the coverage.
And you've created it for what? Because you're bored, or because it sells your papers? Or it makes you feel better about your own life? It's real, what you're doing. And that's the piece I don't think people fully understand.
That's all Harry and Meghan have been asking, but you guys go out of your way to write fan fiction type of BS to stir the pot, make people, hate them for, I don't know, for whatever it is you want them to feel about them. So the blueprint that you guys are creating, and you're talking as if you have nothing to do with it. When I say you, I'm talking just in general, the UK papers, okay? So let's continue.
If we're writing about the, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, we just try to be fair. If they've done something wrong, we say we believe it's wrong. If they've done something right, we say, but more often than not, they've done something wrong. Don't go anywhere.
Wait. More often than not, they did something wrong. Is that why he said, and they cut it really short? Let's see here. What have they done that's wrong? They literally left you out, but you guys are still chasing them. And then to write BS. What was it? I believe it was the Netherlands Invictus. He was not too far from Harry and Meghan. When he said he's not dealing with you. The papers, actually. But you guys are chasing them to write nonsense. So I'm moving it back almost near the end. He says something.
There's a better word.
If we're writing about the, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, we just try to be fair. If they've done something wrong, we say we believe it's wrong. If they've done something right, we say, but more often than not, they've done something wrong.
Is it more often than not they do something wrong? What have they done that's wrong? Minding their business, do the work, and then you guys are chasing them like a freaking terrorist? Okay, so let's listen to this. So apparently, we try to be fair about the Duchess of Sussex, but they always do something wrong. Okay, so she picked that person pick it up. Okay, BS, you're only hating on them because you don't know their business and they're more popular than the race is for. Glad this person picked it up. 32 seconds. Probably near the end, the same part that I rewind.
The human race is really very unpleasant indeed and very vindictive and unkind. And it doesn't take a lot to try to be kind. I know that's not what we're meant to be doing as journalists, but it doesn't hurt to try to be pleasant about people when you can.
To be fair.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what we always try
fair
to
is
be.
a better word.
If we're writing about the, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, we just try to be fair. If they've done something wrong, we say we believe it's wrong. If they've done something right, we say, but more often than not, they've done something wrong.
Okay, where was that? You need to say what they did is wrong. I want to know what you think they did is wrong. I want to know too. More often than not, they did something wrong. So, in comparison with the Duchess of Sussex, the Sussexes in particular, in comparison to the royal family, what have they done? Compare them to me. I want to know. Because they told them to leave.
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
They told them to leave.
Began to address Granny about the 5 options. Your Majesty, you've seen the 5 options? Yes, she said. We all had. They'd been emailed to us. 5 different ways of proceeding. Option 1 was continuance of the status quo. Meg and I don't leave. Everyone tries to go back to normal. Option 5 was full severance. No royal role, no working for Granny, and total loss of security. Option 3 was somewhere in between.
a compromise, closest to what we'd originally proposed. I told everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. I wanted to prevent a repeat of history, another untimely death like the one that had rocked this family to its core 23 years earlier, and from which we were still trying to recover. I'd consulted with several palace veterans, people who knew the inner workings of the monarchy and its history, and they all said option 3 was best for all parties. Meg and I living elsewhere part of the year, continuing our work, retaining security, returning to Britain for charities, ceremonies, events. Sensible solution, these palace veterans said, and eminently doable. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1.
Got it?
Barring that, they would only accept option 5.
Let's do better.
We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5?
Got it?
In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show?
They told them to leave.
This summit was just for show? No answer.
Got it? Let's do better.
They told them to leave. They left.
The decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. And I know I haven't always gotten it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option.
They're doing their own thing, but yet you guys are still after them. Have they talked about the royal family since the Oprah interview, since the Netflix, then what's that, Spare or anything like that? They're minding their own business, but you guys are talking about them 24/7. And look at this, they're minding their own business, but yet you're saying they did something wrong. What have they done wrong? Oh my God, these people are ridiculous. God damn, why the second video is always playing? Okay, next tweet. Oh, at Jenny Bun, why are you smirking? When Matt said, quote, maybe Meghan would have gone if they didn't get married so quickly. Is this what you all were hoping for? Heartbreak Harry? Well, I can tell you this. He wouldn't have been the same Harry before Meghan. You both were... Okay, where is it? Oh my God, the thing. Okay, you're both very disrespectful toward this blessed couple. 42 seconds. Alright.
Delightfully happy marriages in the royal family.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's really interesting that William did, have a lot of time when he was younger, for a start. But he had a lot of time to, and Princess of Wales had a lot of time to kind of learn the role, be accepted, and really understand what she had to do.
But then Kate was saying, after she's had the 3 kids, how long was that? Maybe 2 years ago? Or I don't even think it's 2 years ago. I think it was last year, where she said she's still learning. How freaking long time do you need to learn to cut freaking ribbon?
Yeah, I think so. We have great kids. They're very generous, aren't they?
Mine's learning.
Learning. How to do. Good luck with that.
And pretend you care. She's still learning. That's what she said, until they disappear her. We don't even know where she's at now. But Meghan has been doing these things way before Harry. I meant to say Meghan has been doing this way before meeting Harry. So she knew the things. What the hell? Let me move it back completely.
Delightfully happy marriages in the royal family.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's really interesting that William did, have a lot of time when he was younger.
10 years.
But he had a lot of time to, and Princess of Wales had a lot of time to kind of learn the role, be accepted, and really understand what she had to do, whereas Duchess of Sussex had a much...
I'm sorry, Kate still haven't learned what she had to do, okay? Kate still hasn't learned what she had to do, because she said she was still learning.
Mine's learning.
How to do. Good luck with that.
Duchess of Sussex had a much shorter time. Maybe it's because they're older, or maybe that Harry was just a man in a rush He wanted to get married and he wanted kids. And
No, that's because he saw what he liked and he find it in Meghan and he didn't want to waste Meghan's time. So he put a ring on it. Look at this. They're still together. Happily and doing what's right for them. But you guys wanted to get into their business. This is the thing. Harry knew what he wanted and he got it and he wants to protect it. What the hell is wrong with these people?
maybe she would have gone if he hadn't have acted quicker. But there we go.
Well, in this part, I partially agree with him. If Harry did not act quickly and put a ring on it, engaged to Meghan, and then Meghan discovered the nastiness of that family, I think Meghan would have left. Okay? I've always said that. Because the way the family behaves and display their stupidity, Meghan would have left. So Harry knew that. And this is why he kept his relationship with Meghan private until the press discovered them. So as soon as the press discovered, that's when he acted quickly. I think they would have gone, dating much longer if the press did not get involved. Once the press got involved, he acted quickly and put a ring on it because the press will have destroyed their relationship. Harry is very smart. So I partially agree with this guy for saying that because the press is very nasty, disturbing, and they will not leave him alone. And Harry know how the press in the UK behaves. So that's why he acted quickly.
I have some quick fire questions to wrap up.
Oh, they went through that really quickly. If Meghan have known this is the type of family, Meghan would have left. And then Harry would have left and said, I'm coming with you. The same thing that they just did here. Because when they were dating, this is something I've said many times. When they were dating, nobody knew they were dating. Harry got to know Meghan and saw what Meghan was doing. And he appreciated those type of things that Meghan were doing. Not only her business to upkeep her, the acting, this is what was paying the bills, and then she was doing service on the side, the charitable work. So this is what Harry was all about. So the minute he saw that within Meghan, he knew that was it. There was no more looking. But the other brother was fooling around. Look at this. He's still looking around. I don't think William will never be happy. I've said this so many times. He will never be happy with anybody that he gets, because his demand or on the spot, he never really sit down and think things through to see, okay, this is what I need, this is what I want moving forward. Nope, because you guys are making excuses for him, just like right now. You're making excuses for him, so he will always be in need of something better, better, better. I don't know. At the end of the day, he's gonna end up with nothing because he wants everything and nothing is good enough for him. Meanwhile, he can do shit for himself. Alright, so let's do that.
Mine, Jenny. So they're light-hearted and fun.
Oh gosh, I have. All right, I have my instructions.
Light-hearted and
Instruction for what? Instruction for what? Alright, so what's this here? This is extra.
Vanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together. And if I may speak personally, we are all in this together. Because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.